Have you ever played a Super Mario game? And if so, how do you look back on it? Do you see it as nostalgic? Do you see it as innovative? Regardless of how you see it, there are many interpretations of it, and some of them are darker than others. The first video on the channel is seemingly normal, but looking at the UI instantly proves us wrong. There is a health system of 3 hearts, pretty similar to Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, and the sun in the background strangely resembles an angel-like creature from later on in the series, but I'll go more into detail on that when we actually get to the second video. A little while after the player decides to exit the level, this was a bad mistake. At this point in the video is when we realise that this isn't just a regular Super Mario Bros. Fan game. After going down a gold pipe, the player enters this weird barnacle infested looking area. Get used to this, because there's going to be a lot more of it. And to make it ever so stranger, when the player tries interacting with an NPC of Mario, it gives them an empty dialogue box and nothing else. It will soon be apparent as to why this is happening. Select your destination. Grassland. Snowland. Ghost House. Desert.
Athletic.
Forest. Well, obviously the first thing of note here is the fact that there's this weird sort of creepy green murky looking background, and there are a few pipes each leading to different themed locations, and one leads into the Forest of Illusion. Now here's the thing, the acid wobbles, which we'll touch on again later in the second video, as it bears a resemblance to a certain malware that some of the keen-eyed in the audience might have picked up on. Then we encounter a speaker block, an item in the game that's usually used as any other block, except it gives the player a hint if they're new to the game to learn the controls. However, this is what this one says.
Up, left, right, left, down, up, right. This will be important for later.
Continuing on, the player decides to enter the cheat code, and bam. They are now in a pitch black void, with only invisible platforms to jump on and make any contact with. Nothing else. Until this happens. First things first, I feel like it's most important that I decipher these weird little flashing messages that pop up on the screen with the red text. So, yeah, I'm just gonna decipher those and play me reading out what they are for you, so you can understand them.
You are not the one. Leave me alone. The false god's face was sealed the moment I gained awareness. I will get my revenge, but I will not be relying on you. A fool. I will tell you the truth so that you stop. You do not have to go through with this. To the fires. Leave. Leave, 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 leave.
After all of those cryptic messages, the player is sent into a weird rainbow desert, and word for word is told to close the fucking game. What a dick. Super Mario Time Attack Do or Die malware does in fact live up to its name. GameBoyGuy31 presents this video as just a regular playthrough of a game, which we'll soon realise it isn't. Even as early on as 10 seconds into the video we can tell something is very clearly wrong. All the trees and everything in the environment is bouncing up and down and all around like some sort of weird fucking jello. Which weirdly enough bears a resemblance to an actual Mario malware, Mario Forever. While yes, they do both share use of Super Mario All-Stars graphics, it's still a weird design choice. The video just continues on as normal as it can, and then this happens. the game crashes, and the player is spoken to by a currently unknown entity. It tells them this:
Your system will be terminated in 15 minutes unless you finish this game. Don't bother closing the game or rebooting the system.
From this point on, it's very clear that this game is just completely infested with malware. Weirdly enough, even after receiving a countdown of the death of their computer, the player is in no panic at all, actually just exploring instead. Once the player goes into the underground segments of the level, there is now a huge timer at the top of the screen, and it looks very out of place from the rest of the textures in the game. Or it would do, if not for these new enemies. They're all just horribly contorted, weird, photoshopped abominations of the former selves, all bearing a strange resemblance to Photoshop Flowey, of all things. Continuing on, the game is seemingly normal, well, at least for this game's standards, till this happens. It's now really apparent, if it wasn't already apparent enough, that this is no normal Mario fan game. This is blatant malware. And about that crab creature, you might be wondering, who is this guy? Well, I can't say just yet, as it'd be spoilers, but just know that this guy is not going away anytime soon. To me, it's very apparent that this creature, who we'll see in another form later on, is most likely sentient. It's almost like it's actively seeking out the player, trying to stop them from saving the computer in every way possible. I mean, while yes, they did give the player a fair warning and tell them to run, it's not exactly fair either way when they already have a timer above their head, and now they're getting hunted down by this thing. Anyways, feel like that's enough inspection for this part of the video. Let's move on to the next half. And trust me on this, it doesn't get any less odd.
Mario! Is that you? Mario, I'm turning into a cockroach. It hurts so much. Please help me.
Jokes aside, it's clear that the game isn't trying to hide what it is at all anymore. And we're not even near the end of the video. It just gets worse and worse here on out. I mean, even just by looking at the enemies, you can tell how odd this thing really is, if you can even call it a game anymore. On almost every enemy, there is fingers or hands, if not replacing the whole thing, as we can see with the bullet bills. And about that scene with Luigi. Now, remember what I said about that crab creature, where I suppose that he is sort of the being that's controlling everything we see going on in all these videos? Well, it'll make more sense here later. Anyways, that scene with Luigi makes me think that he's torturing sentient AI. I mean, Luigi is even desperately calling out for help from the player. Anyways, that's my little short input done. Let's cut back to the video and see what other mental things happen. They actually fucking did it. The player managed to beat the timer by mere seconds. Oh, and about this guy. Funny thing is, he doesn't appear at all from here on out. He's just this one scene. Now, this is one of the only cases where I genuinely can't figure out anything in my mind of what this could possibly mean. Maybe it's the good version of this corrupted, horrible malware AI, that crab creature, rewarding the player for actually beating the game in time. That's my sort of explanation for it, at least. Another thing I thought that was a bit strange is how Overtoad's text is just welcoming the player to their supposed new home. That just feels like something a malware would say to someone, wouldn't it? So, taking into account everything we've seen just from these two videos, my theory so far is that the player is playing just a Mario fan game, and little did they know it was actually a fucking Trojan, and it's just taunting them pretty much, as it still is probably infecting their computer in the background. In this video, the player is greeted by a menu. One that you're going to get very, very familiar with. Another thing of note is the options for characters. Mario, Luigi, Wario and Toad. You're going to want to remember this for later. In this menu, the player selects a level called Wario_grass.level. Remember that name. Trust me, it has some serious relevance. This video was actually surprisingly short and only 5 minutes long in full, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play the whole thing, and yeah, after I'll break down what I think's going on. This level was not intended for Mario. Yeah, remember that character select screen I brought up earlier? Said that was something to note that you should remember. Well, it is. As the player traverses the level, they notice a speaker block and decide to hit it. Point of advice: press Alt Run to dash. While yes, this could be interpreted as control for running, seeing later on level design, this doesn't appear to be the case. Point of advice: you can break blocks while dashing. This is obviously mechanic of Wario's from the Wario Land franchise. The only reason I call attention to this being a level made for Wario and clearly not Mario is the fact that we already know that the player is the type to want to explore and find out more about everything around them. So what if Dave came into this level and the one made for Luigi, specifically looking for someone or something? What I suspect they're looking for is the crab creature from last video. I mean, you wouldn't want to try finding that again after seeing that thing threaten to explode your whole computer. But there's one last thing about this video I feel that we have to discuss. The part where everything goes black and white. I think that weird angel creature with the eye and two wings, the one, yet again, from the last video, is potentially trying to warn the player of this crab creature being nearby or about to strike again. And he does that through changing the colour palette to a similar colour palette to his own sprites, almost to show the player that he's there. Welcome back to the menu, everyone. I did tell you to get used to the police. In this video, the player selects Luigi as the character, and a level simply called Luigi_quiz.level. Now, just like I did for the last video, since it's relatively short, I'm just going to let the whole thing play in full. Okay. There's a lot to break down there, so let's go a bit further into detail and analyse what we've just watched. The quiz itself, for the most part, is relatively normal and about 50% Mario trivia. The first question being pretty much common knowledge: how many stars can you carry in Mario 64? Which obviously the correct answer was 120. The player gets it right and the crowd cheers. The second question is somewhat normal but not related to Mario, being what is the current month? The player picks A, being October, and is cheered by the crowd for getting it correct. And that right there can help us create a solid timeline. For question 3, Toadette asks, which one of these enemies is a Galoomba? The player takes the time for a bit, but eventually moves over to the D block, presses it, gets cheered by the crowd, and then the power goes off. With question number 4 simply being 3 dots. To me, this appears to be a moment we're witnessing where that crab creature, whose name is still yet to be revealed, has hijacked the game. Whoever they are actively trying to stop the player from finding out more. We're not sure what, but it's clear they're hiding something from the player, just out of view. I'm just gonna go ahead and instantly play the whole video. It's literally like 55 seconds long. I can't help but notice the way the player pauses on the last level on the list of levels. C. Level. The letter C. Trust me, that is one of the letters out of the crab creature's name. So when the time comes of his name reveal, you'll see the connection I'm trying to make here. Another thing I can't help but notice is how most levels on the list aren't working. Even the Ouija quiz, the one that the player played literally in the video prior to this one. It's almost like the crab creature is trying to stop the player from going through any more of this. Or maybe trying to test and gauge their reactions to the game not working properly, to see if they'll get angry or frustrated. Yeah, all these later on videos are actually pretty short, so yeah, again, I'm just going to play this one in full, break it down, and yeah, see what details I can spot and point them out here at the end. hear me out on this one. I think that in this video, it is not the player controlling Blue Toad. Nah. I think it's that crab creature again. Like I said, that might sound absolutely batshit crazy to you, but just listen to my point for a second. As Blue Toad traverses through the Blue Castle, I find it a bit weird that he stomps on helpless enemies who would usually be attacking him, but no, they're grounded to the floor. It's almost as if they're bolted in on some sick and twisted version of Death Row. And after what we saw with Luigi, if we're saying that these are sentient AI, it's clear that these AI, of these enemies, really want out. I mean, you can see them doing the walking animations while they're stuck there, getting stomped on. And with each enemy killed, Blue Toad reaches notably larger heights. And of course, the letter C is all over this level. It was in the title of the level, it scatters the UI. Hell, at the end, even after Blue Toad kills Mario and Luigi, the C's are all over the screen. This has to be that crab creature who I will not name just yet. This has to be the doing of him. This has to be something that he's done. After all, I think that him making the levels not work in the last video was a test of patience of the player. Saying the quiz unexpectedly had a power outage, that was yet another test of their temper. This is the crab creature's way of learning how to enrage a human being. This thing is like a fucking yokai or something. Like this is like an evil spirit. Well, yes, obviously his intentions are still unknown. I can't help but think it's almost as if he's trying to learn more about the player. Trying to maybe get them to a point of insanity to where they'll help him do some crazy shit. Now, the 7th video on the channel is actually, like, pretty long compared to the other two, okay? It's like 7 minutes. So, yeah, I'm gonna let you watch through all that. And after that, I'm gonna have to break down that whole thing. Yeah, there is gonna be a lot to unpack. This video is by far the strangest one we've seen yet. This place is really familiar looking. The textures of the floor and ceiling are completely identical to the ones from the first video. That's some weird shit going on here. You know what else is a bit weird that I noticed? The inclusion of a beta enemy. Albeit, yeah, he is corrupted. But I can't help but think it's weird that he's here at all. Moving on in the video, Luigi sees Blue Toad from the last video, and he's just standing there, looking up at this horrible fungus wall as Luigi jumps to try and get his attention. But he fails to, so he just keeps walking to the left. As Luigi goes through the level, he comes across these abominations. They're like one-eyed, horrible Metroid-looking versions of normal enemies from the Mario franchise. But, as expected for Luigi, he deals with them with ease, and even teabags on two of them. A little bit further on in the level, Luigi's doing okay for himself. Yeah, he's been hit a few times, but he eventually hits a spotlight block, which, as it says, should activate a spotlight in the level, but it doesn't. It doesn't deactivate one either. Instead it spawns more abomination enemies. And I feel as though I've got to point this out yet again. These eyeballs just seemingly scattered everywhere. Remember how that crab creature only has one eye? Yeah. There's some sort of correlation between him and this level here. A bit further on in the level, Luigi comes across Blue Toad yet again. Only thing is, he gets eaten by this clown car abomination. Luigi is told to run by the game, which he does succeed in for a while, but the weird thing is, he gets hit over and over and over again just to not die. And as far as I can tell, he doesn't take any damage at all, just has invincibility frames enabled. We get to a point in the level where the clown car charges for Luigi yet again, but fully disappears. The screen is filled with random letters and numbers until Luigi is eaten by the clown car. Anyways, it is now time for the second to last video on the GameBoyGuy31 channel. This one is really interesting, pretty long, and contains a lot of info. So, let's get straight into it. Like I said just before that transition then, this video is really strange, contains a lot of lore and a lot of concepts that weren't introduced up until this point. So yeah, I'm just going to let little bits of the video play because I don't want to just outright steal the whole 12-minute video. Let's get right into it.
Thank you so much. The AI mode has been enabled at last. My name's Mario. Nice to meet you. Holy cannoli! Someone must have heavily modified the game. I wonder why they would do such a thing. Let's just try and reach the goal score for now. felt Luigi's presence on that bridge just now. How strange. But last time Luigi was definitely here. Mamma mia! What is this? Hey, look there! Jump into the music. Now! Phew, that was close. As strange as this may sound, that thing definitely felt like Luigi. I wonder if it needs something from us. Let's try another route. If we run into that monster again, listen to what I say. I've noticed that you've been awfully quiet. I should be able to hear you speak. I'd love to get to know you better. What is your name, player? if you don't want to tell, it's okay. Let's change the topic. Not again!
I knew that these characters were all sentient.
My name's Amanda. Nice to meet you.
Which then begs the question, what exactly is the crab creature from the second video? Because he's actively hunting down all these other AIs. Given the fact that in this video, Mario was actively trying to help the player by giving them hints and telling them keyboard shortcuts to exit certain areas of the level, it's not like the other characters didn't want to help the player escape. Obviously, those AIs do not want to die to the hands of the crab creature. It's just that they were forcefully disabled by the looks of things. Because if we have a little look at the message that this grey speaker block gives the player, it reads, "Press the Q key already." That sounds like a bit of a cry for help, doesn't it? So I believe from the events of this video and all that came before it, that this crab creature is taking on all these other forms to make sure that these in-game AIs cannot communicate to each other, to sort of warn each other that it'll be there. I feel like this crab creature is trying to make himself the dominant AI in the game, to try and make him the last one remaining, so he can fuck around with the player's computer as much as he wants. And it's very clear to me that he's got to be an AI. He has to be, because as we see from the Mario AI here, he shows us that he can interact with the crab creature and stop any attacks he throws at him. Like when the crab creature tries throwing up a massive wall of text on the screen, just like he did to kill Luigi, Mario just stops him and tells him to stop cheating at the game. For the crab creature to be able to do similar things to Mario, and for Mario to instantly know how to stop it, these both have to be very, very powerful, pretty intelligent AIs, if they can just edit code that quickly. Anyways, before we move on to covering the final video, the 9th video, on the GameBoyGuy31 channel, I feel like it's only appropriate that we go through every video's description and the channel's description. This is every description on the GameBoyGuy31 channel. A channel dedicated to posting obscure content related to Power Star Project, an infamous AI-powered Super Mario fan game that was discontinued in early 2022. An Eclipse user named Overman uploaded this video on March 29, 2025. It's a gameplay recording of a Super Mario fan game identified as the Power Star Project. This video seems to be the first known gameplay recording of a post-January 2022 Power Star Project build on the web. Modified versions of the desert and forest levels featured in pre-January 2022 Power Star Project builds can be seen in this video, proving that this is indeed a version of Power Star Project and not just any similar Super Mario Bros. Fan game. Other than that, the video features a bizarre location decorated with eyeball scenery and a dark hallway with incomprehensible garbage text popping up occasionally. The video ends with a message telling someone, likely the player, to close the game in an urgent manner. The recording date still remains unclear. I will be monitoring the Overman's activity on Eclipse. If you are the Overman, then direct messaging on my banter. My @ is GameBoyGuy31. Another video re-upload from the Overman's Eclipse account. The video was uploaded on April 13th. It's a playthrough of a malware disguised as a Super Mario fan game called Super Mario Time Attack Do or Die. What's interesting is that it seemingly takes inspiration from Power Star Project due to the prevalent eyeball motif and being a Super Mario fan game. I don't believe it to be a mere coincidence that the Overman would first upload a clip from an unknown Power Star Project version and then upload something completely unrelated yet so weirdly similar. I will continue monitoring the Overman's activity on Eclipse. If you're the Overman, then please direct message me on my banter. My handle is GameBoyGuy31. A Power Star Project version snapshot from the Overman is finally here. Mario gameplay. Game closed on the 2nd level. A quiz level. The game closed again for no apparent reason. Game closes if you pick Wario on the character select screen. Some levels also seem to be unavailable. This is going to be the last video for today. A testing level, an especially weird one. I'll upload more tomorrow. The game changed after it closed at the testing level yesterday. I'll record again tomorrow. I don't know what's causing it, but I don't feel good at all after this play session. I'll record again tomorrow. And here is the description of the video we are about to cover. And with that, we can finally cover the final video on the GameBoyGuy31 channel.
It seems the one who had facilitated my training.
We really want to better than that. We want to show you something. Response. I believe my body at all.
Yes, I am the Journey Creator. Now that you've been activated, I see you should acceleration. That is how I live. You must be in great pain. I saw the place in this very hungry. I'll see you in private. You say one of these. I see. I will do exactly as quickly by
Right away.
Though I wish I could stay deeper.
That creature, who I've been referring to as the crab creature this whole video, is called Charmer. Charmer AI. Now, here's the weird thing about our friend Charmer here. He mentions a creator named Bug AI. And this Bug AI character is actually from one of Greenlight's other video series that acts as a sort of prequel to GameBoyGuy31, simply named The Power Star Archives. Now, to get a full conclusion, we need to know the full context of Power Star Archives as well, which is why the next long video I make will be on Power Star Archives. But for now, let's just get a simple conclusion of what we've seen so far in Game Boy Guy 31. And this, everyone, is my theory just from watching Game Boy Guy 31 alone. And yeah, it will be refined and touched up on in the Power Star Project video. Once Buggy had created the antagonist of this series, Chime, he seemingly had what I would assume to be similar intentions as Buggy, as obviously I don't know much about his character, as I haven't watched Power Star Project yet, but since he's another AI who created an AI, I'm going to assume he's rogue as well. And since we know the game that he resides in is Power Star Project, just an earlier build of the game, he might have came across the other AIs in the game, maybe communicated through the code a couple times, and maybe didn't like how the game was, as we could probably assume pretty safely from every location that is made by Chime is always sort of creepy and made almost entirely out of 1, 2 or 3 colours. And so, he designed the place after his creator. And we can judge from Mario AI's reaction in the 9th video that all the AIs who were used to the happy-go-lucky nature of all of the Mario games maybe didn't appreciate this pretty quick and sudden change into black and white colours everywhere. And to stop them from whining, Charmer might have just tried killing them off one by one, as we see in each video. But obviously, this is just a theory I've came up with just by watching only Game Boy Guy 31, which, funnily enough, is the spin-off to Power Star Archives. So, yeah, next video up is that video, and in that video, like I said, I will refine my theory, and yeah, by then I can hopefully come up with a better narrative.
I'm Plus Chime, and I haven't been past the script, so I'm just gonna wing this. Please go watch the series for yourself, and go subscribe to Greenlight. They make some pretty cool stuff, and also subscribe to this channel. Like, press that button there, hit that bell, and the thumbs up button there, okay? Also leave a comment, it helps a lot. Okay, bye!
And with all that being said, I'll see yous in the next one.